Here we are, another day in paradise. We're feeling a little more seasonal today. I think it's around 45. Really damp and overcast. So it's a little chill in the air. Got a fire going. I think today what I want to do is I want to finish up that bed. Even though we're going to have to, like I said in my last video, we're going to have to take everything down. I want to get that bed finished off. So that's the goal for today. Got some food to cook up if we can get that going, and hopefully just have a really good day. Fried spam on pita with a little Country Bob sauce. Hard to beat it. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's some geese flying right overhead. Well, I just finished up eating. You know, it's funny. Up until this year, I'd never had spam. Well, I'd say within the last year. A few months ago when we came out and fried up some spam, that was the first time I've ever had it, at least that I remember. It just reminds me a lot of a hot dog in different form. Pre-cooked, but it has a good flavor to it. Throw a little Country Bobs and it's good to go. I wanted to take a minute to address some of the comments in my last video. A number of people ask why we have to leave, and I realized I'd never addressed that. So I'll explain that a little further here. The land that I'm on right now is in a federal wetlands program. Now within this program, they have a lot of different distinctions of types of wetlands. For instance, our neighbor over to the side here, his is in what's called permanent wetlands. So the government comes in and builds up a levee, and outside of, you know, pretty major drought, there's standing water in that all the time, you know, anywhere from 6 inches to a couple feet. Then there's forested wetland, and then I believe what we're on right now is called herbaceous wetland, which as far as I can tell is about how I would describe like a 500-year floodplain. So once in every 500 years that there would be enough rain in this location and upriver that this area would be prone to flood. As a part of that program, there was a one-time payout. A few owners ago received a payout to put these acres in that program. And along with that program comes a number of exempt activities. You can't till it up and plant it for crops. You can't graze animals on it. You're limited on how much hay you can cut on it. All these different things. One of the things is that I knew you couldn't have a permanent structure. You could not build a permanent structure there, which is why, you know, I'd mentioned a number of times on the cabin videos why I wanted to build it on skids so that if we ever had to move it, we could. As disappointed as I am that we paused on the cabin, the way things shook out, it turned out it was a blessing. It would have just been that much more work to undo what we had done. Like I said before, the shelter, as much time and effort that we've put into it, it's not going to be that hard to take apart, and we'll be able to reuse 99% of the materials. We'll just have to haul them to the new location. Quick side note on location. Thank you to everybody who chimed in about which option you think would be best. I'm probably going to give it another week to see if any more comments come in and then make a decision. Spoiler alert, we're probably going to plan projects on more than one location, but probably only one project at a time. We'll see how it shakes out. So anyway, that's why we have to move. They actually came out and did an on-site inspection, which they had never done in, gosh, over a decade. And I got a very direct but polite email from them saying, listen, you really can't do this here. It needs to be gone by June 1st. So I just kind of explained what we were doing, and I said, I understand, I get it. We'll have it all moved. So it was a pleasant back and forth over email. But that is why we have to leave. The good news is we have access to another property that is actually right next door. The way we'll have to haul materials, it's a little bit of a jaunt, but it won't be too bad. We'll just have to get all the materials kind of ready and stacked up and throw the trailer on the 4Runner one day and make a number of trips, half a dozen or better. As disappointed as I was, though, I am excited for a new chapter. It was a little weird coming out today, knowing that what I was doing was just, going to be undone here shortly. It was a little bittersweet. Like I said, I am looking forward to this next chapter. These new locations, they have some characteristics that I'm really excited about. But it will be hard to walk away from here the last time. Like I said, a lot has happened here. I've worked through a lot in this location. So it's going to be tough. But I got the bed finished up. I'll show you that here in a minute. I think I'm going to do a quick redesign on it because I'm running into some issues of stability. I wanted to build the bed high enough to have storage underneath, and I think I could make it stable, but the fact that we're just going to have to take it apart here pretty soon, I'm just going to redesign it real quick. That I think will be fairly quick and painless, that will make it usable for the near future. So as you can see, I just lowered it down. I took two of the legs and just laid them on the ground and set the bed on top. So let's give it a try. Oh, there's a pokey right in my head. I think I need to make it just a hair longer. But other than that, it's awesome. A little bit different look to the shelter now, but I still think it looks pretty good. I was able to squeeze everything back in. I was kind of surprised, but actually lowering the bed opened up a ton of space in the back. And rehung a couple things. So that looks pretty good. I like that a lot better for future beds. If we want it a little higher up off the ground, we'll have to get a little bit more creative. I also wanted to talk about these two mats. I have been meaning to bring these out for quite a while. I had a couple earlier. I don't know if you can see. I had thought about making some kind of like flower beds or something, but we'll have to repurpose those. But I have a number of these, and I thought these would absolutely be perfect for inside a shelter, right by the fire, to be able to kneel down on, to be able to keep a place from just becoming a mud hole, you know, right outside the shelter. I believe what they are is never installed mud flaps for semi-trailers. So they're super thick rubber. And like I said, I've got a number of them. So I plan on utilizing those inside future shelters, especially ones that are a lot more enclosed. I have some plans that, again, just to keep it from becoming a horrible mud hole inside there, especially this time of year. We're not quite to spring. We're already warming up and it's getting pretty sloppy out. Well, I think that's just about going to do it for today. We're able to get the bed finished. Quick redesign on it to make it a little more usable in the short term. Turned out to be a really, really good day. A little bittersweet. I'm going to miss this place, but like I said, can you guys hear that? That is so loud. Here it comes. All right, outro take 2. That helicopter was actually a medical helicopter. So say a quick prayer for those people that are in need of those services. All in all, a good day. Got the bed done, quick redesign, tried it out, feels pretty good. There's a couple little pokies here and there I'm going to have to knock off, but other than that, it feels pretty good. Spam's always a winner. Had a good campfire. Today was one of those days that you don't know that you need something until you get it. I guess the best analogy would be like, you didn't realize that your knee or your ankle or your shoulder or something needed to pop until it popped, and then it was like, oh man, nah, I didn't realize it needed a pop, but boy, that feels so much better. That's kind of what today was like. I didn't know I needed this bad, and so I'm glad I made the effort to get out here and get done what I got done and just enjoy the time. So as always, thank you guys for coming along. I hope this was a blessing to you. We'll see you next time.